Well, one of the crops being harvested right now are melons. Have they been impacted by the long, hot, dry summer? Reporter Steve Shaw headed out to Hydro, Oklahoma this week to check out the largest watermelon and pumpkin producing farm in our state to find out.
Triple S Farms is 7 miles north of Hydro. It's been in Virgil Slagle's family since his grandfather John bought it more than a century ago. "25 years ago, Virgil and his brother Dennis decided to make watermelons on their 3,000-acre farm a priority. Triple S quickly became a go-to spot in Oklahoma for watermelon, and in recent years for pumpkins as well. Triple S supplies the big boys around the state like Associated Wholesale Grocers, Walmart, Crest, Sprouts, and Oklahoma City's Whitaker Foods, with melons that are a summer tradition in the Sooner State. Hey Virgil, why do people love watermelon so much?
They taste good. And it's so cool to see a little kid with juice running down everywhere and just shoveling melons in.
It's good for you.
It is. It's high in lycopene.
Virgil's crew planted more than 360 acres of watermelon this year, back in April and May. They don't plant watermelon seeds. They actually replant thousands of small watermelon plants they get from McAllen, Texas. If everything goes right, the harvesting starts the last week of July. But everything rarely does go right. This year's harvest is late because heavy rains in May delayed planting. And then there was the mind-numbing 100-degree heat and summer drought that's knocked out 30% of this year's yield. Last year's harvest netted 10 million pounds of watermelon for Triple S. This year will be less, which drove up the price, maybe $2 per melon. One thing about growing watermelon is you cannot use harsh chemicals to kill weeds. That's why Triple S Farms got a gigantic weed zapper that's got a 60-foot wingspan, sends out 14,000 volts, and it kills the weeds. Gabe Hanekom is Triple S Farms watermelon shed manager.
The weed zapper is very important to us because there's not a lot of chemicals we can use that wouldn't damage the watermelon plant itself. If it wasn't for the weed zapper, we would have had to have a lot of people hoeing the fields to get rid of the weeds, where the weed zapper is just a lot more efficient and we can get a lot more ground coverage.
A $250,000 weed zapper is a must, they say, because you can't get workers to hoe weeds in these fields anymore.
Nobody wants to do this hard labor no more. So it's a dying breed. I tell everybody we're a dying breed.
Andres Martinez has been harvesting watermelon since he was a little boy growing up just north of the Mexican border. He's part of the 35-member watermelon harvesting crew that's been hard at it here since the first week of August.
Well, they take a toll out of you. After a while, I told everybody, it's like, it's a good workout. You get a good workout, you get a nice tan, but at the end of the week, you get paid. That's the only advantage to it. But it's hard labor.
You got to pace yourself.
It's a pace, exactly.
He says good help means you're not just willing to work. You also have to know what you're doing.
We have to do it by hand and try to figure out which ones are the ripe ones and which ones are the green ones. So that's the challenge of it. Trying to see, which one is ready and which one is not.
Slagle says Triple S melons are shipped all over America, across the South, and to far-off places in Massachusetts, Canada, and even the Big Apple.
It's kind of cool. I like this bin right here is going to probably go to Hunts Point Market in New York City.
The watermelon harvest here will continue 5 days a week through the end of September. The pumpkin harvest started a week ago and will finish in October.
Consumers demand, they shop with their eyes, and so things have to look pretty.
Virgil says his grandfather would get a chuckle knowing that a cattle, wheat, cotton, and corn farm he started 100 years ago is now known all over the U.S. for their melons and gourds.
Well, I think he would be very surprised.
Steve Shaw, the Oklahoma News Report.